you want to kill your uncle?
No. I wish my uncle wasn't around. I wish that my uncle had left and gone to live with my uncles down in Mariposa. He was dangerous and I hated him.
Your uncle called reporting that you fired a gun on the property today.
Well,
Prior to that time.
well, that's bizarre.
This is Tucker Reed, and she filmed how she murdered her uncle herself. On July 26, 2016, in Oregon, Tucker Reed shot and killed her uncle Shane Moore inside her family home. She called it self-defense. She said she was afraid. She said it was sudden. She said she had no choice.
What?
I could never have even made that shot if I tried. Oh my God.
What she didn't tell police was that her phone had been recording the entire time. Tucker and her mother, Kelly Moore, had been locked in a bitter legal dispute with Shane over the family farm and inheritance rights for years. A restraining order had been filed against him. Tensions had been building for months. And when Shane came to the house that day to sign documents in front of a notary, Tucker was already waiting for him, with a gun in her hand. She was charged with manslaughter and released on bail. And for 2 years, she lived freely. She even pursued an acting career under the stage name Win Reed, landing the lead role in an independent horror film called From the Dark. Her character commits a murder with a gun. The film crew had no idea. 2 years after the shooting, police finally accessed her phone, and what they found changed everything. The video showed Tucker waiting for her uncle with a weapon already in hand. It showed her screaming and provoking him. And after the shot, as Shane Moore lay dying on the floor, it showed her standing over him, still talking, making no attempt to help. This was not sudden. This was not panic.
She has a gun. She's not signing a grant deed, Shane. I thought it was a bill. She's not signing a grant deed. You son of a bitch! She's not signing a grant deed. It's for her property. She says she's trying to... Yeah, if you told her.
This was not self-defense, as she said. The charges were upgraded to murder. Watch this interrogation carefully. Watch a woman who had 2 years to perfect her story sit across from a detective and perform grief and fear and confusion. Watch what happens when detectives start asking questions she didn't prepare for. This is her interrogation.
Have a seat in the chair, any which one? There's a key or something here, I think. Hi, Tucker. I'm Bill Ford. I'm a detective with Medford. My name is Tony Young. I'm a detective with Medford Police also. We take a case like this and try to learn as much as we can about what was going on. We don't know you. We don't know the circumstances. We're kind of behind the 8 ball, and we would like to talk to you about that. Some of what we've done on the front end, Bill and I talked to your mom, and then the other detectives were out at the scene talking to various people that were present, and that we know some family dynamics are involved here. We know that there's some history going on here.
I'm just going to be right back. I'll make sure that...
Okay. We understand a lot about what kind of led us here today, but not from you. Okay? And it's vital that we get it in your words and what you saw, what you were thinking, and things like that. That's what we offer to you at this point to do. Okay? Because I can tell by talking to you in just a brief amount of time, this is not a normal day for you to end up here doing this.
No.
Okay, all right. We can learn a little about a person, especially more so nowadays with what's online and what's out there. And I only believe about that much of what's online. Because people can, it's not everything. I think this is the way you learn about somebody and talk to them. And again, we talked to your mom to kind of get some background, but I'd like to kind of hear in your words what led us here today. What made this happen?
I first want to say that I do have PTSD, and I have pretty much daily panic attacks. And prior to coming here, I took 2 Klonopin.
Okay.
They are prescribed to me.
Okay.
So, aside from the headache that I mentioned to the sheriff, I'm feeling a little not well spoken.
Okay. All right.
So I will try to provide you with information, but I just want to bear that in mind. For, I guess it's been 10 months.
And Tucker, you might have to speak up a little bit in this room.
Okay. My maternal uncle, Shane, has been pretty much weekly, I would say, threatening my life, my mother's life. I don't think ever my sister's life. My dog's life, and our property, as well as my grandmother's life. And we did everything that we were supposed to do. We called the police. He had assaulted me in September, so he was not supposed to contact us through third parties. My mother and I, being the chief witnesses. He was not supposed to speak to me. He was not supposed to call our home. He did all of these things, and every time it was with a threat. And we reported it every time. We had a lawyer working with I believe it was Deputy Penn at one point, and then it got handed off to somebody else because he needed approval from the DA or something like that to bring additional charges against my uncle so that he could be, because of his, just constant violation of his terms of his bail. We on Sunday past, my grandmother called at midnight. And
This last Sunday or the Sunday before? Because today's Tuesday.
Right. Not this Sunday. The Sunday prior. My grandmother called. She had been released from the hospital. She'd suffered a lot of blood loss and had a heart attack while she was in hospital. But they transfused her and they let her go home. And she's in her late 80s and a trooper, and she was home alone. And she has, for the past 10 years, let my uncle Shane live in what used to be the main house as a caretaker. He was, I think, provided a license as a caretaker with the stipulation that he do nothing illegal, that he not sublet, that he not let people onto the property. Became very clear to my grandmother recently, she's housebound, she's had strokes. She went outside for the first time in years and saw the place crawling with people, saw all the destruction that he had done to the property. So we get this call from my grandmother saying she's scared, and she doesn't elaborate.
What's that Sunday?
The prior Sunday.
Okay.
And my mother and my brother and I went out there. My brother had to leave in the morning for work, and my mom went with him because they had only brought one car, so she was going to bring the car back. And while I was sleeping on the couch, and the house is all windows, plain view, Shane entered the house. He went to my grandmother's bedroom. I believe he woke her up, but she might have been awake and letting me sleep in because she called so late in the night. And he made her sign a document. And I guess it's because he thought that she would die soon because she had a heart attack and everything. And she described it as an amendment to the will to my mother, and my mother today was going to be present to make sure that this document wasn't basically just putting a target on my grandmother's back, you know, allowing my uncle, who has a history of violence, I mean, not just against me and against my family, but he has claimed that he killed a woman and buried her in the BLM. He has abused women on the property. We've heard them screaming. He harassed she might have been in her 20s. It seemed like she was a young girl. I looked this up when I was working as a crime journalist. Harassed and harassed and harassed a girl he had propositioned for prostitution until she just didn't show up at the trial. So he is he's very threatening. And when he was there, he had this document, he thrust it at my grandmother. He said that if she didn't sign it, he'd kill my mother. And about
now,
that
is this
time,
stuff that you heard him say, or is it stuff that your grandmother
this
told?
This is something nobody knew. My mother asked her, why would you sign a thing about anyone present? You know, right after you've been in the hospital, you already have a will. And that's when my grandmother kind of huddled into herself and said, he said he would kill you, Kelly, if I didn't sign this. And he had done that while I was in the house, when he is not supposed to be anywhere near me. So we stayed from that day on, barricaded all the doors with, their sliding glass doors, barricaded the doors, always kept the front door locked after that incident, because when my mother and brother left that morning, they left the front door unlocked. And he just kept circling the house. He would come around and he would call and he would threaten my mother. And today he told my mother that if she fucked things up for him, he would...
Is that something you saw or your mother told you?
She told me.
Okay.
But I got other threats. We all listened to them. Whenever he called, we would put him on speakerphone.
Okay.
And so that is kind of background information I can provide you. And I just don't feel like I'm in a good position to speak about the incident today at all without a clear head and without a lawyer present. And I'm sorry about that if that causes you any more trouble.
Well, that's your right. And we want to obviously we have questions, and that's entirely your right to do. Here's kind of the way that works with us. We can come in here and talk to you, and we can keep talking to you until that point. You probably know that if you've been around, crime writing or anything like that.
I was pre-law before this.
Okay, you know probably better than I
It's
do.
in my life now.
I know. Yeah, but that kind of ends our interview at this point.
Right.
We don't. I think we've both been doing this long enough. We don't get grumpy with you or anything.
Appreciate it.
I
do want to mention that he had a friend there who was trying to do chest compressions because the EMTs weren't coming because there was a report of someone with a gun, and we kept saying that the gun had been put away, and he wasn't doing it right, and I helped do chest compressions on my uncle, and I could feel that the man had been doing it wrong. I was certified to do it before, and every bone was broken, and it just felt like jelly.
Okay. Well, let us go talk to the detective that's handling the case.
Okay.
We'll come back and let you know what's going on.
We want to tell you, we're done. You're probably not going to have contact with us, but if you change your mind and you want to talk to us, you can knock on the door or whatever, and we'll need to revisit whether you want an attorney at that point, if that's something you want at a later time.
Okay.
But right now we're done.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you, detective.
All right.
Thank you.
I have one more thing I want to add to the detective's record. If they're still available. If anyone can hear me. I'm assuming this is the camera. Can you see me?
Sorry about
Hi.
that. Hi.
No worries. I just wanted to add one more thing.
Oh, okay.
That I just
There's kind of something we got to do before. If you want to talk to us right now, we kind of have to go through your right.
Again?
Oh yeah.
I know them.
Okay, I know.
I have to advise you that.
Listen,
Okay.
we got to go through, and I'll advise you of your Miranda warnings, and I want to ask if you want to waive those rights to speak to us. So you understand you have the right to remain silent.
Yes.
Okay. You have the right to an attorney and to have him present with you while you're being questioned.
Yes.
Okay. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning.
Yes.
Okay.
And anything that you say can be used against you in court of law. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. With those rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us now without an attorney present?
I wish to clarify one thing.
Sure.
For the period of time that we were there with the doors barricaded, I mentioned that to you, that basically it was switched off. My family members stayed in the house continually after he had come in and extorted a new document, a new will or whatever of my grandmother. I kept insisting that we call the police because that's elder abuse.
Right.
And my mother said if we called the police, he would just go berserk. She was afraid that he would set fire to the house, that he would cause damage, anything and everything. And what she wanted instead, her plan for today was to add clarifying language, and if the house is searched it will be there on the kitchen or the dining room table,
Mm-hmm.
clarifying language that said that if any harm came to it, my family or my sister's boyfriend or my dog or any of the property belonging to anybody, that he would get nothing.
Right, she
because
explained that to us.
okay,
Yeah.
and I just why did I feel
One of
that's
the
why nobody called in. That's why my grandmother didn't report anything. That's why my mother didn't report anything. She thought that this was the best way to protect everybody because we hadn't been getting protection.
So
for
nobody
months.
from there called the police
for
in?
the elder abuse. No, even
Okay.
though we did record my grandmother talking about how it had happened on the day of.
We did have a 911 call from there, from that house. We had a call to our dispatch. This is a computer-aided dispatch sheet.
On which day?
Today. That's today's date. And the time that call was initiated was 1:44. Okay. Can you see what that covers? Your uncle called reporting that you fired a gun on the property today.
Well,
Prior to that time.
well, that's bizarre.
That's bizarre. Not, yes, I fired the gun, here's why. Not, I can explain that. Just, that's bizarre. As if she has no idea why her uncle would call 911 to report that she was firing a weapon on the property hours before he died. But she does know. She fired the gun herself that morning. Her mother confirmed it to detectives. Shane heard the shot and called 911 because he was afraid of what was coming. He called the police to protect himself, and 2 hours later, he was dead. That 911 call is the most important piece of context in this entire case, and Tucker's response to hearing about it is one word: bizarre.
Why's that?
Your mom, and so Tucker, listen to me for a second, okay?
Yes.
I can read you that if you'd like. It's kind of
We get used to
jargon.
reading.
It's a lot of it's jargon. If you read these two parts and this part, these are just the officers that got involved in locations.
Quick claim deed, yes, for his mother's
Right.
property location. He's concerned that there's going to be some type of issue with family members. This morning, this was a warning of what's to come.
Well, you know what,
Interesting.
Tucker? I gotta tell you, I mean, being a critical thinker, and I know you are, with where we're at right now, that's pretty ominous, right? I mean, that's the problem we're getting at when, and if you want to stop right there, well, that's one thing, but you got to understand there's more to this story, and that's pretty telling. There's there's a lot of questions with this.
Tucker, one of the things I want you to understand is we spent about an hour and a half talking to your mom.
I could hear her screaming or whatever.
Yeah. And she explained to us all the past history with Shane, Grandma, you, and her. The threats, the things that he was trying to do with Grandma about the property and the deed and all that stuff. She explained to us the when the oil got thrown at you and the case, things like him trying to get you to drop the case through either you or other people and all that other kind of stuff, and the hindering, the tampering and that kind of stuff.
He doesn't sound like a nice guy.
We asked her about you firing the gun off. She said yes. There was a gun there at the house, and you asked your grandma if you could shoot the gun in the field, and you went out and you shot the gun once. So your mom has told us that you fired the gun earlier today. But what I want to explain to you is that our job is to figure out why this happened and make sure that this wasn't a cold, calculated, premeditated thing, or if this was a spur-of-the-moment thing, or if this was an accidental shooting, or if this was a self-defense shooting. I'm just being straight with you. We are not we're not here to try to get people in trouble. We're here to seek the truth.
Right.
So we've read things about you on Wikipedia, and we know your involvement in the advocacy end of this down at USC and the whole 9 yards as to what's going on. We try to figure out, and unfortunately we don't have hours and hours and hours to try to figure that out. We try to figure out who we're dealing with and the dynamics of a family relationship. Because me and Tony have been doing this job a long time, 25 years each. And we've been in law enforcement for 30. So we've seen the gamut of things when it comes to shootings that result in death. I think a lot of lay people that aren't in the system all the time automatically think that we're out to get people in trouble. That's not our job. Our job is to figure out what was going through your mind when this happened. Because we have the notary public there. She's a witness in this case. She's present at the table. When she sees you pick up the gun from underneath the towel on the counter and move towards the front. And she's telling us that your mom was in the kitchen at that time as well. So we're trying to figure out why the gun got discharged. What was going through your mind? And really, and that's why when Tony tells you that you have a right to tell us that part of it, we could spend hours and hours and hours sitting here talking about the dynamics of the past. And we understand that. We understand that's an important piece to this. Don't get us wrong. And we spent a lot of time with your mom talking about that. I understand.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
The next step is that we need to make sure that your mom didn't shoot Shane, that the notary didn't shoot Shane, that Carlton, the black guy that was there, didn't shoot Shane, that there wasn't something else going on. And we need to figure out if you shot Shane, why that happened. And really, that's what it boils down to here, girl. I'm just being straight with, how old are you?
26.
Yeah, you're 26 years old. You still got the rest of your whole life in front of you. But this is our one opportunity to talk to you about that now. So, because there's a whole host of things that can cause somebody to pull a trigger on a gun. He was hit in the middle of the chest. He was hit outside the doorway. He wasn't in the house. The notary's not telling us there was a fight or that he had any weapons or, that he had a gun or a knife. And so we're trying to figure out why this happened, because that's what it really boils down to. And then the next thing would be how it all happened, and that's part of the why. What happens and transpires, how does that happen to lead up to the point where the trigger got pulled on the gun? Okay? So that's a decision you got to make, and you got to decide whether or not you want to talk to us today about that, because I don't think, looking at this thing, and I don't know if Tony would agree or disagree with me, I have a hard time possibly believing that this was something that was planned out weeks in advance. I don't think that's the case. But there is obviously a lot of disruptiveness going on between Shane, your grandma, and your mom, and you, ultimately, with Shane. And there's a lot of dynamics going on with the kind of people Shane has running around there and taking over the property. We always try to figure out motive. What was the motive of somebody pulling a trigger on a gun and the gun going off? Was the person trying to shoot at the person and scare the person and accidentally hit them? There's a lot of stuff that can go into this.
Tucker, you got to understand the reason to me, that's a burning question. That CAD, that printout I showed you with you shooting a gun there earlier in the day. And I did that, and you know why I did that? I want you to understand what somebody,
other people
watching this, okay, could be thinking, oh my God, there's a lot more to what went on today. We know there's a past, established it, and he's not a nice guy, and I believe it wholeheartedly, okay? A lot led you to where we're at today, but we got to have it from you. You were there, I wasn't, Bill wasn't. We got to have it from you what was going on in your mind to get a complete picture of this. And that thing that I showed you, it doesn't look good right now without you opening your mouth and telling us what happened today.
Yeah, well, I have to say that I'm incensed that he would call 911 and think that that was anything. That man is firing off guns all the time.
Okay.
I found a gun that I believed belonged to my grandfather. I wanted to know if it was loaded. I took it outside onto the porch and I fired it. That was this morning.
Okay. Was that the gun that was used?
Yes.
Okay.
I gave it to my mother afterwards saying, I think that this gun, I didn't even know how to use it. It doesn't need to be cocked to shoot, but I thought it did earlier this morning. So,
we were just kind of curious about the
you'll be able to see the gun.
Yeah. Okay. It wasn't meant to scare him or anything like that?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
People are always shooting.
Okay.
You can see my grandmother's...
See, that's important.
That helps right there. That
Okay.
puts your voice on it. But let me ask you about, are you a gun person?
No.
All right.
No.
Have you
no.
ever shot a gun before this morning in your life?
My friend from Arkansas, when I went to USC, took me to a gun range, and he laughed at me the whole time.
Okay.
So,
All right.
You don't own any guns?
I don't own guns. I'm not licensed to carry. No.
Okay. So that kind of raises another question. What made you go out today? What was going on in your mind to make you want to test fire that gun today, to make sure it worked?
I don't know. I've been scared out of my mind for so long. I just saw this thing.
Were you thinking, let me ask you this, Tucker, were you thinking
You're
that
doing good.
because obviously what's kind of in the forefront of your mom and you's mind is the potential for threats and the potential for violence. Were you thinking that I ought to shoot this you've already talked about barricading the doors.
Yeah.
Were you thinking of why to shoot this gun just in case something happens?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you're thinking of the gun as a protection.
It's just the thing. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Was there any thoughts in your mind about causing any harm to Shane at all before
No.
this happened?
Absolutely not. No.
One of
No, I've been ready to testify in court to get him put away.
Okay, one of the things that we talked about that Tony brought up, which is a really super good point, is that we were not there. We don't have a video of this. This isn't like TV. We can't play this back in our minds or on a TV screen. Where was your mom at when Shane got shot?
My mom, where was she?
Yes.
She was at the door.
She was out the door? Why
Yes.
did she go to the door?
Because he was, the notary was sitting at the end of the table, and Shane's witness was sitting on a bench, the man who administered
The blackmail.
the African American man, Carlton.
Yes.
And then
And where was your mom sitting at before she went to the door? Was she at the table as well?
my grandmother was, so here's the notary, here's my grandmother,
Okay.
here's my mother, and then Carlton was sitting behind on a bench, and I was in the kitchen, just to make sure that
Because
the
your mom
notary...
told us you were at one point in the bedroom watching the DNC.
Yeah, I kept going back and forth because I wanted to get the moment when Hillary got the nomination
Okay.
on my phone ready and then tweet it and be like, history made.
Okay.
So I kept going back and forth. But I just wanted to make sure that the notary was informed.
Did you see your mom tear up the document?
What happened was I saw Shane come around.
Where
and
was
he
Shane
was
at?
on the porch, literally 5 feet from the glass windows.
No, we haven't been to the house. Are we
Okay.
talking the front door?
So if this is to scale, it's pretty
Could I
large
give
table.
you a piece of paper?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. If you could draw like what the inside of the house looks like and the porches, because we're understanding there's a sliding door, there's a front door, there's some stuff going on. Here's a pen for you.
We got it.
Oh, thank you. Oh, this is a very nice pen. So, there's a center chimney type thing. This is the living room over here. And then this is, it's probably a little too long. So, chimney, and then there was a chair here with notary, chair here with my mother, bench seat here with Carlton, chair here with my grandmother, and then, oh, there's like a wall here, and then it's open here, and then it goes around. It's not a very big hall at all, and it goes the same length, or maybe even slightly shorter. I think there's a heater here.
Where's the front door at?
And it is right here, and it swings out this way.
Swings in?
Yeah, it swings into the house. And so, and here was the kitchen counter with a drawer sink, and I was right here.
So you're behind the counter?
Yes,
There's
I was behind
actually
the counter.
room for you to go by?
And there's wall here, and there's wall here.
And where's the slider at?
This is the sliding.
Kind of at the
doors.
opposite end of the notary?
Yeah, exactly at the opposite. And
is
I
there
was
a porch outside the
Yes. Okay, and that's
Okay.
where I didn't.
All right, that's
it's,
fine.
But it's only a few inches more
Okay.
at this scale.
Okay.
And he wandered up the steps onto the porch and was watching, and
Where was he watching from?
literally like right outside
And
the
could you see
door.
him watching up? Could you see him there?
Yes, and I verbally like warned everybody. I was like, Shane's right there.
Okay.
And
Was the
he's
slide,
watching.
is there any of the slider have any drapes on it or anything like that?
No, there's nothing.
And from where you were at, you could see him.
Yeah,
Could
and
your
he's
grandma-
not supposed to be that close to me.
Okay. Could your grandma see him?
I think I announced to everybody, so the notary, my grandmother, my mother, and Carlton would have known that he was there.
Okay. I mean, was he pressed up against the glass? or was he
No,
just-
he was standing because this is the important thing. As soon as my mom tore up the document, he ran towards the front door, which was unlocked.
Did you see him run?
Yes.
Okay.
And my mom, and I ran. This is the thing. My mom ran, and I could hear her making noises, and I started screaming, and this is where it gets hazy for me. I picked up the gun off the table because it was on the table. That's where my mother had put it.
On the table where the documents were?
There's a little, it's like a secretary's kind of
Was there a towel?
drawer.
Kind of a towel or something?
There was a napkin over it, so the notary wasn't scared. But that's where my mom didn't want anyone to be scared. But she had, once I showed her this gun, she was like, let's put it in a central place.
Okay.
Just, so it's there. And,
Your mom got up from the seat,
my mother, yes, and ran towards the door.
ran like full-blown run?
I remember I was running. I don't know how fast it was. Everybody was screaming from what I can remember. And Shane started opening the door and entering the house.
Okay.
And he was banging the door into my mother. My mother was screaming and he was screaming. And I had the gun and...
Listen to how she describes this moment. Everything is happening simultaneously. The door, the screaming, the gun. There is no sequence, no clear cause and effect, just chaos. And in chaos, nobody is responsible. But the notary who was sitting at the table that day told detectives a different story. She said Tucker's mother was not struggling at the door. She said Tucker walked toward the door with a gun already in her hand. Two people in the same room, two completely different accounts of what happened, and only one of them had a reason to lie.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Take your time.
I don't even remember what happened. I was like screaming, and I thought that you had to cock a gun for it to go off. And
Did the gun go off?
Yes.
Was
And
it-
I thought
was it
that
in
it
your
was gonna,
hand?
yes.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Why did you pick up the gun? And there's no wrong or right answer here, Tucker. It's just we're trying to figure out.
I was absolutely sure he was going to kill my mother. He told her earlier in the day that he was going to kill her if she messed anything up for him, and she ripped pieces of paper up right in front of him.
And was that something that your mom told you that he had made that threat, or did
Yes.
you hear him make that threat?
I didn't hear him make the threat,
And did
but
your mom get
my
that?
mom told me, she told me hours before this, there would be no reason for her to tell me other than we started drawing up the addendums
Okay.
we had them set up. We already had some drafted, but she was like, we need to also add some stuff because he's continuing to threaten to kill me, and
Why do you think your mom ran towards the door?
because it wasn't locked.
So she was, and then did you actually see the door open?
Yes,
And did you see Shane open the door?
yes,
So you could see that. You could see that Shane was in the opening of the door.
yes,
And could you see your mom at the door?
yes,
Holding the
trying to close it and lock it
And could you see, do you
because there's a
remember,
deadbolt on it.
do you know if Shane had any weapons on
I
it?
didn't. I couldn't see that. I kept hearing the door makes a noise, and it kept hitting into her.
But could you see that, or were you just hearing it?
I was seeing and hearing it.
Hearing it. Do you know if your mom was struggling to try to shut the door?
There was screaming. I think that yes, that's my assumption.
Okay. And what's the notary doing at this time, do you know?
I think the notary and Carlton had no idea what was going on. So
I
maybe
guess
they didn't see Shane.
Can you see the door from where you were initially sitting before
I
when
wasn't
you
sitting. I
saw
was
Shane run
standing.
around?
Can I see the door from there? Yes.
Okay. Can the notary
saw
see
it.
the front door from where the table is?
No, she can't.
Because of that wall?
Yeah, the wall goes to about here, and this is okay. So it's not like exactly to scale,
So
but
who
yeah,
would
she's
look-
tucked there.
Who alerted everybody that Shane was running around the front?
I did.
Could you hear him running on the porch, or did you just see him take off that direction?
You can't hear it. It's pretty soundproof house.
So when he takes off, do you think he takes off because he sees your mom rip the paper off?
Absolutely, yeah, it was an immediate
100%?
reaction. Yes.
Okay. And he takes off running, so you're automatically assuming that he's running that way because he's going to come to the front door. Do you move at all from that position before the door opens?
Yeah, I had to duck in here because
To get the gun?
yeah.
Okay. So you get the gun because he's running towards the front door.
Yes, and that's when I saw him struggling with the door with my mother.
Now, one of the things I want to ask you is your mom still struggling at the door with him when the gun goes off?
Yes.
Or had she backed away from the door?
She hadn't backed away from the door.
Okay. Because I'm
The
assuming
door was like, I can't open that door, but
it doesn't
here.
open the right way.
Right. The door was. So here's like my mother's head, and she's pushing on the door.
And you know what, Tucker? Probably the easiest thing to do is just stand up and show us right here. Just pretend there's a door right there.
Is that or is that?
Just stand up right there and let's pretend this is let's stand right here. Pretend this is the door. It opens this way, right?
Or I could just do it right here.
Yeah, do it right here.
So she was against the. Maybe I drew the door wrong. The door opens inwards because there's a chair here.
So not like this door? It opens?
It opens exactly like this door.
Okay, all right, that's good.
Yeah. So my mom was against the door and trying to push the door, and I could see Shane, and he was trying to get in, and everyone was screaming, and
Was Shane saying anything?
yeah,
What was-
everybody was screaming. I have no idea. I don't even
Was
know.
Shane screaming?
Yes.
Okay.
I have no idea what people were screaming.
Okay.
And where are you at? If your mom's behind that door pushing, where?
I ran up.
Well, you can show me right here. I mean, this
I
is
ran up. So the door is set. I was like right here, exactly like aligned right here.
Do you think that's about the distance?
Yeah.
And has he made entry into the door, through the door yet?
His
I mean,
hands were on the door.
Is he inside, or is he
like,
still? Is he? Do you know where his hands were on the door?
I believe I saw his hands on the either side of, like, you know how like in horror movies the hand goes around the door.
Right.
And he was like wedging himself so the door couldn't be closed again.
Okay. And how long do you think you get up to? You're thinking about 5 feet, 6 feet here.
And I was just screaming at him to leave.
How long do you think you're there before the gun goes off?
I don't know.
I mean, is this a long drawn out thing, or is it rather quick?
It wasn't long and drawn out. Everyone was telling him to leave, and
How are you holding the gun at this point?
it was only in one hand.
One hand. Okay, and
I think what he's asking me is, do you point the gun at him and tell him to leave?
right.
I sort of remember just sort of having it in the air.
Okay.
I don't remember aiming.
Okay. Did you make
and I didn't cock it.
Okay. Did you make a conscious decision to? Did you push out with it? How did it fire?
Sometimes what people do is when they've got a firearm in their hand, they kind of use the gun to tell people to get back. Or
I might have done that.
Did you give
like
any?
Maybe some kind of thrusting motion.
What's important, Tucker, is did you give any kind of warning like get out or?
Oh yeah, leave. You need to leave. You can't be here. You know you can't be here.
Get
out.
Are you pointing the gun at him and telling him to leave?
I'm not pointing the gun as I said that.
Okay.
I think I said I do have a gun.
Okay.
You need
And
to
is
leave.
is he making any effort to stop what he's doing?
No.
We can sit back down for this part.
Okay.
So, do you think he saw that you were holding the gun?
Yeah.
In that time? And again, I want to ask this just to be clear. Do you make a conscious decision to fire the gun?
I don't think. No.
Tell me about that.
Because to fire a gun, I've always thought you had to cock a gun.
Cock it meaning the hammer back?
Yeah. Whatever that is.
Single action.
Right. This gun doesn't do that. It just fired.
There's 2 ways to fire a revolver. There's what's called single action and there's double action. You can pull the hammer back and pull the trigger. Or you can pull the trigger and it makes the hammer go back and then fall forward.
That's what happened.
Okay, and correct me if I'm wrong here. When you test fired the gun earlier, how did you fire it?
I pulled the hammer back.
Okay. Oh, and you fired it one time?
One time.
Is it possible, Tucker, that you might have pulled the hammer back and you didn't realize you were pulling it back because you were scared, or
No. No.
you were pretty confident?
I'm
you pulled the
absolutely
trigger?
positive that I did not pull the hammer back.
Okay. So
I was just waving it.
Okay. So
I
wanna go back to
I would never have a gun that close to my mother. I don't trust myself to aim that well, you know?
Okay.
So, no, I did not.
I want to go back to the door, and you can sit there for a second, but you're explaining that the door opens this way, and your mom's trying to shut the door.
I'm sorry, I didn't see her.
The door opens this way.
Yes.
Is it possible that it opens this way?
Absolutely not. That was a mistake.
So you open the door this way, and your mom is behind the door.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, your mom's behind the door, and he's trying to make entry, and everybody's screaming.
Yes.
And you feel that he's going to come in and he's going to cause you harm.
Yes.
That's basically what you're telling us.
Or my mother, yes.
Because you had
or my grandmother, because she's.
Okay, you had ran there and got the gun and went towards the door. Your mom's already up the door by the time you get there, and you're describing being about 5 feet away, and you've got the gun in your hand.
Yeah, I was like right here.
So, are you straight on the door? Is what I'm asking, or are you kind of off to the side from where your mom is? And what kind of angle?
That's about. But that's.
So is it kind of like this, if that's the door?
Yeah. It was
Okay.
sort of an angle.
How long do you think you're there with the gun?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Do you remember?
I was screaming.
If I had to ask you, in your best explanation, you believe, even knowing yourself and everything else, what do you think caused the trigger the gun to get fired?
Probably squeezing on it. Just
No, I'm saying, what was going through your mind? Why do you think this happened?
Because I don't understand how guns work.
What could be some other reasons that this might have happened?
I think it really comes down to me being panicked, ignorant, and where was he shot?
Where was he shot?
Shot in the center of the chest.
What?
I could never have made that shot if I tried.
She just laughed. The detective told her that her uncle was shot directly in the center of the chest, and she laughed. She immediately follows it with, "I could never have made that shot if I tried," meaning it must have been accidental. But think about what she just said. If the gun went off accidentally while she was waving it around in a panic, the bullet could have gone anywhere, into the ceiling, into the wall, into her mother standing right next to her. A bullet that travels accidentally does not travel to the exact center of a man's chest. That laugh lasted 1 second, and it said more than the entire hour before it.
Did you intentionally pull the trigger?
No, I might have, but I didn't think that it was cocked.
Did you know if the gun was loaded?
The gun, I'm pretty sure the gun was loaded. It was loaded earlier in the morning. I don't know how many bullets were in the chambers. It could have been empty.
Did you ever, when you shot it the first time earlier today, did you ever, you know how to open the cylinder on it?
No.
What made you think the gun was loaded when you first shot it this morning?
I didn't.
Were there any extra bullets there for it or anything like that?
No.
You didn't have to load it this morning?
No.
Okay.
And then after you shot it, you didn't open it and
I don't know
inspect
how to do
it?
that.
Okay.
Okay. So you knew there was a round, obviously, that it was loaded when you shot it because the gun went off earlier.
Yeah.
Did you know if it had any more rounds in it?
No.
Was there any reason to believe that it wasn't loaded? Do you think it was probably still had bullets in it?
Yeah, probably. I mean, if my grandfather left, he died 10 years ago. If he left bullets in it, maybe there were bullets in it. I didn't know.
Okay. Did you give any warning to him other than...
I have a gun?
Yeah.
I told him.
Can you in your best words and your best recollection, tell us, best you can, exactly what you said to him when you got up there?
Leave my mother alone.
And
Get the hell out of here.
What I'd like you to do, Tucker, is do it in the voice and the loudness that you actually said it. Just reenact it for us. As loud as you need to be.
You know you're not supposed to be here. Get out of here. I have a gun. Leave. You're violent. We all know you're violent. Get out of here. It was very loud. There was no mistaking it.
Did you say it just like that? Is that what you remember?
No. It was something like that. It was.
But in that
literally...
voice, so could he have heard you?
Oh yeah. I mean, he saw me.
Okay. He saw you with the gun. He knew you had the gun.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason we ask so many questions like this is because we need to know what's going through your head. And if it's me and I'm you, I'm probably rolling up there and I'm pointing the gun and I'm giving him those commands. You have, is there a valid restraining order?
That's what the.
What's going on with the case, the oil case, when he threw the oil at you?
It has been such a mess.
Is
I was
it
initially in the
done?
system as
Okay.
a 15-year-old. No, it's open. It's still open.
Was there a trial date set for it?
There was a trial date set for it, and then he pled guilty. And then when he got there to plead, he said, "No, I take it back. I would like to go to trial." And so they reset the trial.
So it's an open case, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta ask something here. Going back to, and I think it's the hard question.
Yeah.
Look at me. Did you want to kill your uncle?
No. I wish my uncle wasn't around. I wish that my uncle had left and gone to live with my uncles down in Mariposa. He was dangerous and I hated him. But no, I did not want to kill my uncle. I did not want to ruin my life.
Listen to that sentence one more time. I did not want to kill my uncle. I did not want to ruin my life. Two things: equal weight, equal importance. She places her own future in the same sentence as her uncle's death, as if they are comparable losses, as if what happened to her matters as much as what happened to him. This is the sentence that tells you everything about how Tucker Reed understood this situation. Not as a tragedy, not as a moment of panic, but as something that had consequences for her. Shane Moore is never mentioned again after this moment. His life, his daughters, his side of the story, gone. Because in Tucker Reed's version of this, there was only ever one person who mattered.
I did not want to ruin my family's life, and I didn't want to put my grandmother in that kind of position because she could stroke out or have a heart attack.
Are you doing okay? Do you use the bathroom at all? Or are you alright?
I'm barefoot and I have a thing with bathrooms.
Okay. So does Tony.
I do. I don't understand. Is there a phobia for that?
Yeah, probably.
Tucker,
Probably OCD.
Do you understand why we're asking these questions? Because we need to know what's going through your mind.
Yeah.
That's ultimately what this boils down to. And we need to know what actions he was taking and what your mom was doing to prevent him from coming into the house. Now, has he ever been in the house while you're there before today?
Yes.
When was the last time he had been in the house?
Monday.
And you were there?
Not this past Monday.
Not yesterday.
Not
Yesterday, but the Monday before?
Yes.
Were you there in the house when
Yes.
he came in?
Mm-hmm.
And how'd that day go?
He came in. He threatened my mother's life. Got
Were
my
you-
grandmother to sign something while I was asleep on the couch. I woke up to hearing a man's voice. I saw him, and I said, "You need to leave, or I'll call the police." And he left.
Okay. So you actually confronted him and told him to leave or I'll call the police?
Yes. I said, "You know you're in violation."
Was there any reason to believe that when you woke up that day that you might, if you would have had a gun, would you have told him to get out of the house?
Yeah. If I had a gun, yeah.
Okay. Any other days besides that day, that Monday of last Monday, would you have, last time he was in the house where you guys were together around each other? Before?
Anything, like
How many times you been?
Anything. You know, this man has come up to our front porch to scream and steal things, and I've picked up shovels. I've said, "Get away." You know, he's anything to put distance between a messed out
That's Tucker, though.
man.
That's what I want to ask you. How many times have you been around your uncle since he threw the oil at you? How many times have you been around him?
Probably. See, I get it confused with how many times he's called the house just to threaten.
Not just
we
called,
keep it
let's
like
talk-
a diary,
Right.
but I think it's 3 times.
3 times.
Yes,
So there
including
was-
that Monday incident. That
Prior to that Monday incident,
maybe 2 times. He was on our property once.
at your mom's house on 8th or on
8th.
How'd that go?
I told him to get the hell out of there.
Why did he come over? Do you know?
He stole tools from my mother's garage.
And you saw him there,
Yes.
and you told him to leave.
Yes.
And did he leave?
Yes.
Okay.
After he took the tools and told me to go fuck myself.
Okay. Has he ever threatened you directly?
Yes, on the phone.
When?
Multiple times, actually.
Let's talk about the last time you had a conversation with him where he made threats.
He called and he said that he's actually basically like repeated the same things over and over. But it's, I need to drop the charges. I need to make this go away. I don't have any idea of what he's capable of. And I'm a dumb cunt if I think that he can't reach me through somebody else if he's put behind bars.
Okay. And I think you mentioned that you and your mom and boys called.
Always reported those.
When you called, you reported to Jacksonville PD?
Yes. We went in, the first time that happened.
Was Jacksonville PD the case that handled the oil?
Should have been. That was in the city.
Yeah.
The first time that happened, we went in directly to talk to Officer McCulley. He didn't even take us. We said we had something to talk about. Like, could we have a moment of his time? He just made us talk about everything right there in the hallway. And I recorded it, and he didn't take it seriously at all. And
you recorded
he said,
the conversation?
Yes.
Do you have it still?
Probably on my old iPhone. I think I gave that to my brother.
How many times do you think you've called Jacksonville PD to report threats, especially with like him trying to get you to drop the charges?
12, like a dozen.
Or is it mostly you calling, or is it your mom?
It's my mom, it's me, it's my grandmother.
Okay. So let's talk about, you mentioned that he said that you don't think that I can't get to you from being behind bars, that kind of thing. How many times has he made other threats to you? Since this court case?
Since just this court case?
Yes.
So every time that we had a phone call that we reported that I answered, and I can't recall how many times that was, and then directly to me or through other people?
Only directly to you?
Only directly to me.
Because you can't really, would have to go talk to other people. I'll ask you about that, but I want to start with things that he's told you straight out of the hole.
I don't know.
What are some of the big threats that you remember him saying? The gist of it. If it doesn't have to be exact words, but just the big.
You know. I'll destroy your life.
Okay.
That was a big one. He liked to say he would destroy things.
Okay. What else? What other kind of themes, I guess, is what I would call it.
Yeah.
Him telling you to try to get you to drop the charges.
That he had a lot of friends.
Okay.
And then sometimes he would be nice. And he would say, I won't hurt you, and everyone will be safe if you just drop the charges.
Okay. Did he ever threaten to injure you? Directly, a threat to you?
Not like anything specific. No.
Okay. Did he ever threaten to kill you?
Yes.
How?
Like make me disappear.
Okay. So, when he's coming around the corner, coming through the door, and your mom's trying to shut the door, do you think that you could have done, I mean, you've got the notary, you got your grandma, could you have had the opportunity, now my understanding is there's a house phone there.
Yeah.
Could you have, instead of running to get the gun, could you have ran to the phone and called 911?
Not before he hurt somebody. Not in my mind.
Okay, but you've been around him a couple times since this court case, and he hasn't hurt you. That's why I'm asking you.
He's hurt my mother in the past. He's threatened her with knives. He's shoved her repeatedly. He has thrown things at her. He threw things at me. I think I mentioned I've had to pick up shovels and things to keep him back.
Have you ever witnessed any of these things, or is it stuff your mom's told
Oh no,
you?
I was there. We've had large groups of people in which he has demonstrated his violence toward my mother on Thanksgiving and 4th of July.
What's the worst thing he's ever done to your mom?
Probably tossed some kind of metal instrument at her.
Okay. What's the worst thing he's ever done to you?
Thrown the oil at my eyeball.
Okay.
Is that what I see right here on the bridge of your nose? Is that from that?
No,
Okay.
that's from a different accident.
Okay.
I have a scar here, and we got a plastic surgeon to do the stitches, but it's so it healed really well actually.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys report that right away?
Immediately.
What officer handled that?
He hit me with his car. He tried to run me over with his car, and I was screaming, "This man is trying to kill me." And the officer didn't really take that seriously. He said, this again was Officer McCulley. I don't think I ever finished the thing. Officer McCulley, when we were there and I got it recorded, he was like, he didn't care about tampering with a witness. He didn't care about the fact that my uncle was violating bail or whatever it is, bond, whatever made him be recognizant. I don't know what the term is exactly. He just said, maybe you should consider moving.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see an officer saying that.
Well,
It's not the right thing to say.
no, it was really triggering for me as a person with PTSD who
Let's
has
talk
been
about that for a second.
treated terribly by police.
Can we talk about that for a second? I know you might have a hard time getting through that, but at the best you can. Do you feel that you went through some kind of PTSD today?
Oh yeah.
What went through your mind as you were going through that?
I mean, I have been with my grandmother now for days, and the paranoia has just been mounting so much, and today I was having a panic attack.
Kind of leading up to prior to this, you were. Is that right? So, am I understanding from this morning? Is it building?
Yeah.
Were you going through any panic attacks when you were shooting the gun? I'm talking earlier today, or when you went out on the porch and shot the city.
No.
Was everything going okay at that time?
I was afraid, and I just was curious about this thing that I found. My grandfather collected revolvers for the longest time from the 1700s.
Did you think that, and I think I asked this once already, but I want you to clarify if I misunderstood you.
Okay.
You wanted to shoot the gun today to make sure it worked because you were worried that something could happen with Shane. Is that right or is that wrong?
That makes it sound really bad.
No, it doesn't. It just
in my opinion.
No, if you were worried enough that you could be caused harm and that's why you wanted to shoot the gun to make sure it worked, then that doesn't make it bad, Tucker. Don't get me wrong there. I think you misunderstood me. Did you just want it, was it curiosity?
It was curiosity. It was also, I had this feeling in my head, maybe he'll hear the gunshot and he won't come around anymore.
Okay.
And obviously he did hear it, and my mother was I was there with her when she was on the phone with him and said, yeah, Tucker fired this gun this morning. I don't know if
you have a right
she was
to go out
trying
on the porch and fire a gun.
bait him or whatever. I don't know if that's what made today so horrible, but
going back to the actual incident. Do you think that you could have done anything different?
I don't think I should answer that question, I guess.
Okay, that's absolutely right. Do you want to answer any other questions? If I ask a specific question?
I do. Something. You mentioned this when we first started talking to you about. Tell me what you took today.
Klonopin.
Klonopin. 2 of them?
2.
Okay. Again, just to kind of paint the whole picture, you're sitting here talking to me and you're alert and responding just fine. And I kind of want to roll back to the time that's happened. Any alcohol? Did you have any alcohol? Had you taken any medication prior to that today?
Yes.
Okay, what'd you take?
I took half a Xanax.
Half a Xanax. Okay. And what time was that?
That was about the time, that was before they were even, because we'd been watching that. I'm sorry. This is disgusting.
I'm going to step
That
out
was-
for 1 second. Sure.
That was before the delegates even started voting
Okay.
on the TV. What time that would
All
have
right.
been.
Okay. So you have half a Xanax. Anything else all day?
Not even food.
Not
I
even
haven't
food.
eaten today.
Oh, jeez. Okay. And then when did you take the Klonopin, the 2 Klonopin?
After, well, Shane was getting chest compressions.
Okay. So immediately after this happened. Okay.
Yeah.
And tell me about the Xanax. Does that kind of mellow you out, take you to...
It's for immediate panic attacks.
Okay.
And it wears off, and especially if you take half,
Mhm.
because they're coded. But I have an old prescription. I'm not even really supposed to be taking them anymore, but I have them for really bad panic attacks. The Klonopin is more of a, it takes a while to hit kind of a thing.
Longer lasting thing.
Uh-huh.
And the
But they're
Xanax,
the same drug.
when you take half a Xanax, is it something you noticeably feel? Does it impair you at all? Like, I guess, cops, everything is according to driving. How would...
When it wears off, you feel like you've been running a marathon, kind of, like your heart is racing.
Okay.
And I get patches of hot flashes on my chest and my arms, but that's when it wears off.
Okay. And this was prescribed to you for PTSD.
PTSD
Right.
and panic attacks.
Right. Okay. All right. He stepped out, but I just, the question he asked about if there's anything you could have done different. And has anything like this, have you ever been in this situation previous?
I told you that he's come after my mom and that I've picked up things like shovels.
Okay. Never struck him or anything like that with it?
Just tried to back him away, and that's what I was doing.
Okay.
I was trying to get him away from the door so the door could be locked.
Okay. All right. I think he's coming back in here. Can you think of anything we didn't ask you that you want us to know? I just want to.
Do you have the gun? Do you know what? You don't have the evidence yet.
No. As I understand it, they're applying for a search warrant to go in and access the scene, and that's a real good question.
That's really kind of you. Thank you.
Hey, I didn't get one.
Everybody's been really kind.
It's all done, Tom. I'm going to take one by this can be rest.
You want to rip it in half?
No, I'm teasing. I'm good. And that's a good question. I explained to her that we're going to be applying for a search warrant to go through there. Obviously, some things that are important are the documents, that were ripped up. Obviously, the gun, the condition of the gun.
And you said that your mom keep a diary, kind of a notebook of what things,
Yeah.
dates.
That's
and things
important,
like
yeah.
That would be. I don't even know if that's online. I'd have to ask my mom. It might be on a spreadsheet, or it might be in a spiral notebook. My mom's not very organized. So
you have a computer there? Is there a laptop there, or?
There is a laptop there, but it would be on Google Docs, so it could be accessible from anywhere.
Okay. All right.
Pardon me for speaking with
No,
my
you're
mouthful.
fine.
I just didn't want
What
to
about your
be-
cell phone? Where would your cell phone be? Do you have one?
I don't have a working cell phone.
You don't. Okay. Does your mom have a working cell phone?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you guys are communicating the old-fashioned way, landline. Okay.
That's how we've been threatened, and
Right.
that's
That's
why
why I'm
we
asking.
kept. That's how we kept. We don't even have caller ID.
Right.
I have food stuck in my teeth. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We don't even have caller ID, so that's how he was able to call so many times.
I see. And you just answer because you don't
Yeah,
know
I'd
who
be
it
like,
is.
hi, and then it would be just this vicious voice on the line.
Let me ask you this, Tucker.
Yes, sir.
If the notary public, which we somebody else interviewed her, me and Tony did, another detective. She was pretty freaked out.
Yeah,
Can you imagine just
that
coming?
would make me quit the job.
Yeah, being a mobile notary and you come to somebody's house and then you see something like this happen.
I don't even know how she got out of the house. She was just
The notary
the
public,
body.
it's my understanding from the brief contact the detective had with the notary public, because obviously she's upset. She needs to be interviewed again. She's saying that your mom was around the table or in the kitchen when you went to the front door, and the notary is saying that Shane said something like, "Is everything okay in there?"
No, that's mixed up.
Is
I
it?
was the one in the kitchen, and my mother was the one sitting right next to the notary because she was going to explain the addendums that had been written up. And
But when Shane
quickly,
takes off to go around the corner, your mom moved to the door.
I yelled.
Okay. That Shane's coming, that Shane's running.
Yeah.
What do you remember yelling?
Shane's right there. First, I was like, Shane's right there, and then now he's going towards the front door.
Can you do that for me just like you did with the gun thing? Can you use the same voice?
First I was more calm. I was like, Shane's here, he's watching, and then my mom ripped up the document, and that's when Shane started to go towards I was like, he's going towards the front door.
About that?
Yeah.
About that loud?
Yes.
Did you think Shane was going to cause you harm coming through the door?
Yes.
Cause who harm?
Actually, to be honest, the more I think, I didn't know, but realistically, probably me. Probably me.
And why?
Because he knows that my mom doesn't care about anybody else in the world as much as she cares about me. And neither does my grandma. And he could force something.
Okay.
Even in front of a notary, this man is a meth addict. He's crazy.
Okay. So his whole history with you guys know him. We don't know him. Has led you guys to believe that he could be violent. Is that what you're saying?
And targets me.
Targeting you.
Targets me because he knows that it upsets everybody else.
Okay. Can you describe the gun for me? Is it a color of it?
It was really old. I actually thought it was an antique. It might be an antique. But I told you, my grandfather collected all sorts of guns. If you go into the house, there are rifles that are the kinds that they used in the movie The Revenant, where you have to blow the... But it was just a smaller gun, and it was in the pantry, which was random, because they also have revolvers from the 1760s and stuff like that, George Washington looking guns. And this one was in the pantry instead.
And when did you first see the gun? Today?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
What happened to the gun after the gun went off? Did somebody
time?
take it from you today?
My mom, she took it. I mean, she was just like, if you feel like you want this around or whatever, we'll put it here. And we'll cover it up.
Where's it at now, do you think, in the house?
I would assume that somebody would have seized it. Or
No, we can't. We're going to apply for a search warrant. There's officers sitting at the house. We can't just walk into somebody's house and seize something, so they're working on a search warrant.
I wandered away
after it happened. And I think the notary and Carlton can attest to that. That I was in shock. I didn't. So I wandered away. And
Where did you wander away to?
just, the opposite, he was making the worst noises ever.
Okay. But you ended up helping with CPR?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody was screaming that the EMTs couldn't come, and Shane had stopped making noises, and I went out there, and they had moved him. He wasn't where he fell. I saw him fall.
Where was he when he fell?
On the mat, basically.
In front of the door?
Yeah. He staggered, and he fell to his knees or something. But he ended up on his
That's
back.
one of the things I wanted to ask you was, were you worried that if you pulled the trigger, you could hit your mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I didn't think it was cocked. I wouldn't be brandishing this.
Do you remember having your finger on the trigger?
I think I do.
Do you remember?
I
do you remember
told you I don't remember. Like
you remember
earlier, I told you I
squeezing
didn't
the gun?
remember it.
To pull the hammer back?
I didn't pull the hammer back.
No, I mean when you pull unless it's a different kind of
No,
revolver.
it's a double action. It cycles when you squeeze the trigger and the hammer goes back and then forward.
Automatically?
Yeah.
That's double action. Or you can pull the hammer back and pull the trigger, and that's
That's what
single
I did
action.
this morning.
Correct, right.
The hammer has to come back and fall forward and hit the pin.
And it doesn't matter how, if
You
you
can
do
pull
it.
it. You can put your finger on the trigger. You can pull the hammer back, pull the trigger, and it'll go off. Or you can just pull the trigger, which manually brings the hammer back.
What a horrible and stupid design for a gun. That seems so unsafe.
That's the
There's
modern design. That's more modern than the other one. That's how modern revolvers operate.
So let me ask you this: if you could go back
Yeah. Okay.
to
In
the
my mind.
time
Tucker, this is a valid question here.
that you see Shane take off around the door, if you could go back, knowing what you know now, would you have done anything different?
I think that I still think that I would have said that I had a gun. And I would have, I just, knowing what I know now,
Okay. Do you know where his hands were when he was trying to get in the door?
I believe they were like around the edge of the door.
Okay. Could you see both of them?
Not both of them. I don't know.
Was there anything that led you to believe that he was armed? Because you saw him on the front porch, I'm assuming you could have a good view of him on the baffle slider.
He often has, what's it called? A switchblade.
Okay.
Or other types of knives on him.
Okay. But did you know if he was armed when you
Not
pulled him
really
out?
no way to-
Sorry.
yeah.
When you got out of the house? Or when you
No,
pointed the
it
gun?
would have been no way to know for sure.
No way. Okay. Could you have waited a little bit before the trigger got pulled to see if he was going to leave?
He was not going to leave, but I don't remember pulling the trigger. I just remember sort of waving the gun around and brandishing it so he could see it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, so basically, just so you know, there's some other people watching this interview, and there's some questions that they have, and they're good questions. Let me read them to you, okay?
Okay.
Why was Shane outside? Why not inside? Was he told
He's not
to
allowed
not
to
be
be around
there?
me. He's not allowed to be around me. He's not allowed to be around my mother, and my grandmother doesn't want him around either.
Okay, so if you wouldn't have been there, could he have came in and been part of this whole notary thing and the discussion about that?
If I hadn't been there, no, not with my mother present.
Okay, so he's not allowed to even be around your mom.
Right.
All right, what kind of relationship do they have? Is it pretty bad?
No. It was actually, she's helped support him for the past 10 years, financially, in conjunction with my grandmother. And they would get into screaming matches, and sometimes he would cross the line. My mom has a much higher threshold for domestic abuse than I do.
Okay.
My father, my father used to beat me and my siblings, and one time he tipped over all of the furniture, the shelves in our house, and pinned my mom to the floor and strangled her in front of me. So
let me ask you this. Did that play into this today at all? The past domestic stuff?
There's like no place. I don't look at homes and think, oh, this is like a sanctuary. This is safe. There's no way that someone can like that you're safe here.
Okay. Did you guys once your mom got the gun from you, and once the CPR was over,
I don't know if she got it from me or if I just set it down.
Okay, it was a long time before law enforcement arrived.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Was there any discussion between you and your mom about what to do or what to say when law enforcement arrived?
She told me to just ask for, just invoke a lawyer.
Okay.
The detective asks, after the shooting, while you were waiting for police to arrive, was there any discussion between you and your mom about what to say? And Tucker answers immediately, she told me to invoke a lawyer. Her mother's first instinct after her brother was shot was not to call an ambulance, not to check if he was alive, not to cooperate with police. It was to tell her daughter to ask for a lawyer. Kelly Moore is a former attorney. She understood exactly what was happening in that room, and her first move was to protect the story, not her brother.
Did she tell you to talk about the trauma that you've had in your life?
No.
Because it's pretty important what we're talking about as regards to what's going through your mind. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't know.
It is. It's important to know what's going on in your mind.
Because you're going to look at things different than we would in the same situation, right? I mean,
Yes.
and that's why we're asking you a lot of different questions.
Okay.
You know,
Okay, I'm going to roll some examples of some cases that I've worked before. For example, two guys are out on the street. They've decided they're going to fist fight. They throw a couple punches at each other. Somebody pulls out a gun and shoots the guy.
Of the two people or
Yeah.
a third person?
There's two people fighting on the street. They each throw a couple punches on each other and they each connect.
Uh-huh.
One guy backs up, pulls the gun out, shoots the guy.
Yes.
Okay. I asked him, do you think you had a right to shoot him? Well, we were in a fist fight. I thought he was going to hit me. And I thought, maybe he could knock me down and fall down and hit my head and die. What would be your take on that?
I would think that he shouldn't have engaged in a fist fight in the first place.
Okay. Do you think he had a right to pull the gun out and shoot the other guy?
I think he should have run away.
Okay. A case where somebody has a knife, and pulls a knife on somebody, the guy pulls out a gun and shoots the guy with the knife. Think he had a right to do that?
It depends on how close the knife was, in my opinion.
Okay, let's say 5 feet.
No.
2 feet.
If the guy's gonna throw the knife, maybe. No, I don't think that's unless it's pressed to your throat. I don't think that you should be shooting somebody.
Okay. You don't think, unless he's touching it to the throat,
Or lunging or something.
Okay. What I want to ask you, and what Tony and I have been trying to ask you and get your take on it is, looking back on this thing as it happens now, the stuff that was going through your mind, why do you think you shot him?
I think because I felt like like there was a knife to my throat and I didn't have anywhere to run.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
But I don't think I didn't mean to shoot the gun.
Okay.
I didn't mean to shoot the gun.
There's been a lot of, I mean, it's pretty evident that your mom doesn't like her brother, your uncle.
At this point, yeah, I would bet.
And it sounds to me like you and your mom have had, your fill with him. But would you agree or disagree with me right now that if you don't like somebody, even if you hated somebody, you don't have a right to shoot them, right?
Right.
Okay.
No, yeah.
In this particular case, what we need to do is clear out all suspicion that this was something that you shot him because you don't like him.
Right.
Okay.
I would never
And
have done that.
to end all the problems with all the threats and everything else.
Yeah. No, I would never have shot him in front of so many witnesses if it was just a case of me not liking him. I would not have done it.
Do you remember pulling the trigger?
No, yes, I don't know.
Okay.
I
Do
know
you think
that.
you did anything wrong?
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna go to hell.
What do you think you did wrong? And that's why I asked you, do you think you could have done something different? Because you'd been around him a couple times. He's never like tried to kill you before, or there's people there. I mean, I would think that
This was different. He'd been threatening us all day and for days, and he wanted my grandmother's money, and this is completely different.
Tucker, you got to understand something too, and that causes us concern with this right here.
all money thing.
Well, all of that, okay, if you're looking at it from the outside, but here's a problem we're facing right now.
Yeah.
The notary is saying that your mom wasn't at the door, there wasn't a struggle at the door, that you went to the door with a gun.
Well, she's mistaken. She's mistaken.
We'll talk to her some more about that.
I can understand how she could be mistaken if she were rattled. I know for sure that I had to lean over her to get to the gun. And yeah,
You had to lean
my
over your
mom,
to get there.
my mom would have just tripped me. I leaned over the area where my mother's body would have been to get the gun.
Is there anything in there when we do go into the house, is there anything we should know about it we haven't talked about evidence-wise that we should gather that would help shed some light on this? I asked about cell phones. There's a computer in there. Is there anything that's going to have correspondence or anything you can think of that'll help?
At her house or at grandma's house?
At grandma's house. Anywhere for that matter.
I can't think right now.
Okay.
I'll try.
I was going to ask you a question. I'm trying to remember what it was. I keep kind of going back to this, what's going through your head.
Yeah.
There have been times where you've been around him.
Uh-huh.
Let us take a quick break, okay? Do you need to use the bathroom? You all right? You got plenty to drink? So let's go talk with the case agent that's watching this interview, and let's see what else we need to ask you.
Okay.
And maybe that'll give you time to kind of think about if there's something else we need to know about or you remember, okay? Oh, the one question I was going to ask you, come here a sec, Phil, was it seems to me, after me and Tony talked to your mom, and from talking to you, that this has really kind of been, this whole thing with your uncle's really been boiling up for a long time.
10 months.
10 months that he's been out there. When did it really start to kind of get bad? Was it after the when he threw the oil at you and hit you in the eye, or was it before?
Yes, he's been threatening to harm us since I reported that to the police. But
any threats before that?
Yeah, over money. He's
Over money?
Over money. He would steal money. He wanted money for this or that always turned out to be drugs.
Okay. So when Shane leaves the porch and is running around the front, you go for the gun. You move. Your mom's
I
moves
watched
to the door.
my mother.
Yeah, your mom moves to the door. You go to the gun. You bring the gun. Is it fair to say that you might have panicked a little bit?
I was absolutely panicked. Yeah.
Is it fair to say that because of what's going on with Shane, your mom, the money, the grandma, you, all this stuff, that this thing is kind of just, there's kind of been this frenzy stuff going on where you guys don't like what your brother's doing, you don't like your brother and that kind of thing, and the way he's treating your grandma and the whole, is this thing worked up into a frenzy? Has it been out of control? The whole situation?
Yeah.
Okay. Has there been some things that your mom hasn't done right?
No.
Has there been anything that you haven't done right?
No. I wanted to report him to the police for elder abuse on Monday.
Okay. All right. Let's take a break.
I want to.
That is the thing that's
The $64 question, Tucker.
$64 million question?
$1 million.
Yes.
So, I think somebody listening to this would go, why, if he's so toxic being anywhere near him and you guys are petrified, why stay there? Why not pick grandma up and go to your house?
She won't go anywhere.
Okay. Did you visit that at all? Like,
yes.
We don't want to be here.
Yes, and she actually, she told us yesterday that she was finally ready to move, and she wanted to move away because Shane was out of control.
Okay.
That she would give him 20% of the property sale, and then move us somewhere he couldn't find us. And that was the plan. Like Officer McCulley said months ago.
One of the questions one of the detectives asking was, when you were up demonstrating the door about how you were standing and what they couldn't see it because of where the camera's at in this room.
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe for me with your hands about how far you think the door was open when he was in the doorway in the opening?
A good
If you had to
foot and a
guess.
half, 2 feet.
Can you do it with your hands for me? So that's a good 3 feet there.
That's my mom trying.
Okay. Somewhere in there.
It vacillated.
Did you have to move to kind of make him see that you had the gun, like so he could see it?
I had to peek around the side, yeah.
Okay.
And I was waving it, and I think that's when I went off.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Thank you very much.
We'll check and see where we're at here. You want some more food, or are you okay?
Oh, that's very kind of you, no?
Okay. You're okay?
Yeah.
So, do you remember Carlton when he was doing CPR? Carlton's telling us that when everybody's kind of right there and the panic is kind of set in on everybody being around Shane on the porch as part of the CPR, Carlton said that he heard you say something like, "You told me to do it."
Carlton was in the room. He was there when Shane was shot, and while Shane was receiving CPR on the floor, Carlton heard Tucker say to her mother, "You told me to do it." Tucker's explanation is that she was referring to being present during the notary proceedings. But that's not what you say to your mother when a man is dying in front of you. "You told me to do it" is not confusion. It is not grief. It is accountability, directed at the one person in that room who had the most to gain from Shane Moore's death, his sister, Kelly, who stood over her dying brother and screamed at him to die faster.
Meaning that maybe your mom knew you had the gun and you were standing there pointing at him. Did your mom yell at you, shoot him?
No.
Did she know you had the gun?
No. I think I was referring to watching the...
What do you remember saying? Do you remember saying something to the effect of,
You told me I could do it.
You told me
Watch the I was referring to the fact that I saw Shane and that everything happened because I was right there, which is stupid because my mom was right there and she's the same thing as he's not supposed to be around her.
You told me to do it, or you told me I could do it, or something.
Be there, be present while the will addendum stuff was happening.
That's one of the people watching the interview is having, like, why would you guys all, when you think about the dynamics going on, why would you guys all get together out there and try to handle this business there with Shane? Was it primarily because your grandma was not well?
Well, what do you mean with Shane? Because he was not included. He was outside.
Right.
He was locked out.
Right. But I mean, it's on the property. It's just kind of...
She's extremely hard to move. It's very hard on her. And she doesn't... We have...
Do you think she likes Shane?
Huh?
Do you think she likes Shane? It's her son, right?
Yes. She and I have had conversations about it. I've said, I said to her...
Does she love your son?
For example, I'll give you a play-by-play. We had this conversation a couple days ago. I'm a survivor advocate for rape victims. Mm-hmm. I'm a rape victim myself. I have PTSD from my father. I have PTSD from my rapes. And I said to her, I feel like any exertion of power when someone assaults someone is a rape, is a kind of rape. That rape is a silly word, really, for what is a moment where the perpetrator dehumanizes the person to feel a rush of power. Mm-hmm. And that Shane was doing that constantly to everybody. And she agreed. She said yes.
Do you think?
And she said we need to get away.
Tucker, do you think you did anything? Do you think that you did the shooting today intentionally?
No.
Why not? Tell us why you didn't intentionally shoot Shane.
Because I was too close to my mother, and my mother is my favorite person in the whole world.
Okay.
And I would never put her in that kind of position, and I would never put her in the position where I would potentially go to jail, because it would ruin her.
Do you think you did anything that was reckless today?
Yes.
What did you do that was reckless?
I didn't know that the gun had bullets in it, and I didn't know how the gun works.
Okay. But you had shot it earlier, right?
Right. I didn't know if it had more bullets in it.
Okay. Do you think it was reckless to take the gun, grab the gun, take it up there as close as you did to Shane?
I think
Yes
that's
or no?
yeah, it's the same part as your last question. I think it was
Would you agree
stupid.
that?
I think it was so stupid.
Would you agree that you were telling us that you're waving the gun around, showing it to him?
Yeah.
Would you agree that it would be hard if I'm standing here like this and I'm waving the gun around? Would you agree that it would be hard to shoot him in the chest from up here?
Yes, I think that I was doing these kind of things with my hand. I have a gun. Get out of here.
Do you ever remember taking the gun and having it in two hands?
No, I never had it in two hands.
When you shot it earlier, did you have it in two hands or one?
Yes, when I shot it earlier, I had it in two hands.
Okay. Do you ever remember taking the one hand and literally just going like this? Watch me. I've got a gun. That kind of thing. Tony asked you, do you remember kind of going like this?
I think it might have come up more from below.
Like this?
Yeah.
And you had your finger on the trigger. Do you think
I had it around the band. And so, yeah, on the trigger
the
too.
butt of the gun?
I remember it being sweaty in my hand.
You had to have had your finger on the trigger for it to fire. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Do you remember having your finger on the trigger?
No.
Okay.
And again, I want to make the only time before this morning you ever fired a gun is one other deal when you were in college.
Yeah, at a firing range in Los Angeles.
Okay. Any other experience with firearms?
Did your grandpa ever shoot with you when you were little?
Shane let all of my cousins and me shoot at a milk bottle with a rifle.
How old were you?
I was probably like 13.
Okay.
And my cousins were 7 and 8.
Have you ever purchased a firearm?
No.
You don't own any yourself?
No.
Currently?
Are there any firearms in your mom's house?
No. No tasers, no pepper spray, nothing.
I want to ask you something, and I don't want to be offensive. Have you, with your PTSD, are you under the care of a counselor or in any kind of mental health care?
No, can't afford it.
No.
Have you ever?
No.
Have you been? Have they said you probably should, and you just can't afford it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you
I've been recommended for EMDR.
What do you take the Klonopin for?
The Klonopin is to manage my constant panic attacks. I have them every day. And I take Zoloft for depression.
Now, you're 27?
26.
26. Are you in a relationship right now?
No.
When's the last relationship you were in?
I broke it off last summer.
Who was that with?
It was with the son of a...
Do you have any kids?
No.
Okay.
It was with them.
Does he live here locally?
He was he managed hotels his parents owns. He helps own a string of hotels in Ashland, and he was a very nice person.
What's his name?
I can't even remember. I broke
so
it
was it
off.
a long relationship?
We dated. We started dating a month before the 4th of July, and then
4th of July this last year?
Last
Or
year.
this year?
Last year.
Okay.
And then we dated for maybe a few weeks after that, and I broke it off because he took me up to the top of Mount Shasta without my permission, and even though he knew I was afraid of heights, and so I broke up with him over text. I told him that I thought it was really disrespectful to have kept driving when I was obviously freaked out.
Driving up to Mount Shasta?
Not Shasta. Where does everybody ski around here?
Ashland.
Yeah, he drove me all the way up there. In the dark.
You were mentioning something, I couldn't quite hear you about your diagnosis. Did you?
Yeah.
What was that?
So I was diagnosed by multiple doctors when I was 11 and 12 with PTSD from my father. My father tried to drown me when I was 10. And
How did he try to drown you?
he stood on me in a public pool when no one was around except my little sister, and then my sister started screaming when she saw me thrashing in the water. It was 3 feet of water, and people came to the pool, and he got off and said it was a game, and then I went to the emergency room, and we went to the police, and nobody did anything about it.
How old were you then?
Back problems ever since I was 10.
Okay. Tell me about, you said you were a crime writer? You did the crime beat?
The crime beat in Grants Pass.
Okay.
My mom wrote a book, I saw.
On a serial killer. She killed babies.
Have you done any writing?
Yeah, I helped my mom write 2 books for 12 to 15-year-old kids, mostly girls, about time travel and feminist issues.
Tell me about the job with the paper in Grants Pass. Are you still employed?
Mm-hmm.
What happened with them?
I quit when my grandmother's health started to get kind of bad, and also when my boss showed up at a date I was on randomly, that he'd heard me schedule on the office phone. It made me really uncomfortable.
Okay.
So looking back on this, do you feel that you might have been reckless with the gun?
Yeah, obviously.
No. Can you think of anything we haven't asked? I know we've fired a million questions at you. Is there anything we should know?
As soon as I came back, I tried to help.
Okay.
Everyone will tell you I tried to help. I got down and I kept saying I know CPR and I can help.
Are you sorry this happened to Shane?
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Do you think he deserved it?
I would think he deserved to be in jail.
Because your mom made it pretty.
I remember her screaming, "Die, die," while he was bleeding out, and I was sobbing and sobbing.
Do you think your mom had any involvement in this?
You mean what?
By getting it all jacked up, by yelling at you, saying to shoot him? Do you think you hear your mom saying?
I don't think my mom told me to shoot him. I don't recall that, and
Do you think that's something your mom could have done?
I don't think so. I just remember being really afraid for my mom and for me as he pushed the door open more and more.
Yeah, and here's, to be quite frank with you, Tucker, I understand what you're going through, and where you're coming from. But at the same time, he doesn't have any weapons. There's a notary there.
I didn't know if he did or not.
I understand that, but you can't just assume things.
Obviously, I know.
There's a human life that's no longer with us, and there's laws.
Yeah.
And we have to figure out that there's a district attorney here we've been briefing, and that's listened to some of the interview, and it's, she's ultimately the one that has to make the decision.
Yeah.
As to what you're going to be lodged on today. You are going to be lodged.
Okay.
I'm not going to beat around the bush on that, but we will let you know what the charges are. Our job is to basically figure out if a crime was committed and what level of crime that rises to.
Right.
And I can't tell you, I tell you I have a lot of concerns about this, just like Tony does, with the gun being fired earlier, with, the whole situation, really.
I think you sitting here and talking to us has helped tremendously to one, put your voice on this, and also to help us understand the fine
Yeah.
details.
I don't want you to walk out here thinking today that, oh, God, I shouldn't have talked to those guys, because I think by you telling us that, what you did was somewhat reckless, that you feel it was reckless, and looking back on it, maybe you would have done things differently, but ultimately we don't make the decision on charges. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, so let us go out, we'll talk to the DA one more time, we'll figure out where we're going to go from here, okay? All right?
Can I?
What's that?
Can I see my mom?
Let us see if that's okay with them, okay?
Okay.
you okay?
I'm having a panic attack.
Okay.
I can't breathe.
Take a deep breath. Have you had these before?
Yeah, every day.
Okay. What helps you get through those? What do you do?
Medicine, my medicine.
Okay. Take a deep breath. We don't have your medicine here to give you, unfortunately. Take a deep breath. You need some water?
I tried it. I just started choking on it.
So take a deep breath. Breathe in and out. There you go. You'll be fine. We're here to help you, okay? We want to make sure you get through this.
Okay.
Are you able to sit up?
No, not yet.
Okay.
My head hurts really bad and I'm dizzy.
And what's that from?
I haven't had my antidepressants.
Okay. But you can understand me and everything right now?
I can hear you.
Okay. And you're able to think clearly and everything?
I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Take a deep breath.
I'm sorry, your name is?
Detective Bowen. We spoke out there at the house. Remember I gave you the Tylenol?
Yeah, yes, thank you for that.
Yeah.
It helps a little bit.
Are you able to sit up?
I want to get back on the floor.
You want to get out of this room?
Yeah, this room is too small.
Okay,
Is
well,
there a bigger room?
let's get out of this room. I'm going to go right outside the door here, okay?
Thank you.
In 2020, Tucker Reed pleaded guilty to manslaughter in the second degree. She was sentenced to 6 years and 3 months in prison. The murder charge was dropped as part of the plea deal. The prosecution felt the case was too complicated, 2 versions of the same story, a family with a long history of violence, and a video that raised more questions than it answered. A murder conviction was not guaranteed. But here is what is not complicated. Her uncle called 911 hours before he died, scared of what was about to happen. Tucker fired a gun on the property that same morning. She was waiting for him with a weapon already in her hand, and when the shot hit him directly in the center of the chest, she laughed when she found out where. Her mother, Kelly, who screamed, "Die," at her brother as he bled out on the floor, was never charged with anything. The film Tucker starred in while out on bail, From the Dark, is still available to watch. Her character kills someone with a gun. The crew had no idea. Shane Moore was 57 years old. Whatever he was, violent, difficult, dangerous, he walked up to that door without a weapon, and he never walked away.